Kap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. Our streaming on YouTube and Twitch is brought to you by IKEA. The IKEA Sidewalk Sale is on now, sponsor of the ESPN Chicago I-94 rivalry trip. Now time for a Waddle Wednesday.
Tom Waddle, former wide receiver for the Chicago Bears.
The guy's amazing.
1989 All-Madden team and afternoon co-host on ESPN Chicago.
I think he's going to start at least 8 games in the National Football League next year for a team that's going to give him a chance.
It's Waddle Wednesday with Tom Waddle.
Listen, I got a pedicure in an hour. When I get back here, the wheels better be spinning, all right?
On Kap and J Hood, ESPN Chicago.
And Tommy is on the hotline.
That would be the CarX Tire and Auto Hotline, Johnny.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom.
Makes me feel better.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you? Go ahead.
I missed that last week. I'm good. Thank you.
Tommy,
Not that it was bad, Cap, with you indeed. It was fantastic, but I just missed my Francesa introduction.
Yes. I don't even bother trying because Hoodie is the best. I actually think Hoodie's better at Francesa than Francesa is.
Well, certainly Hoodie makes more sense as Francesa than Francesa as Francesa does.
No question.
Good. How are you? Tommy, theathletic.com had a piece, Mike Sando. And by the way, Mike Sando, every year my favorite piece that comes out is the quarterback tiers list. Oh, give me a Winston and a shot of JB when that comes out. The quarterback tier list. Oh, doctor, let me tell you, because it's well sourced. And so Sando has a tiers piece on Caleb Williams and a success rate of 67% in the last 18 number one overall quarterbacks. We talked about this yesterday, Cap. 67% success rate on the number one overall quarterbacks.
Correct. When you
That's
go
pretty good.
first overall, Tommy.
Yeah. So we're asking the question, what does success look like in 3 years for Caleb Williams and this team? And we have a number of quarterbacks, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows, Lamar Jackson. What does that look like to you, the success rate, based on the roster composition?
The quarterback or the team? Because, I think if the quarterback does what we all think and hope he can do, he's going to take the team with him. So the quarterback, I heard the guys talking about it yesterday afternoon as well, or Carmen and Yurko, about what are your expectations for numbers. I would say, I've said all along, Jonathan, my expectation for this first year is when we get to the end of the regular season, and hopefully it will just be a stepping stone to the postseason, what we all better be saying to one another is wow, the quarterback play this year has been better than it has been the last 3 years, because that's why you drafted Caleb Williams first overall, and that's why you built the infrastructure around him in the manner in which you did. So the quarterback play the bar has to be there, that it's got to be better, and I'm not just talking a little bit better, even though he's a rookie. It's got to be significantly better. So, I'm sorry, I'll pay that fine. I think that, 3 years down the road, you got to be looking at a scenario where he's taken you, in large part because of his top 10 play or top 7 play at that point. He's taken you to at least 2 trips to the playoffs in 3 years. Mm-hmm. And that's being, that's being a bit conservative, I think, by most people's standards. I think everyone, the conversation about if the Bears won 9 wins this year, how would you feel? Well, not every 9-win season is the same. Like the Green Bay Packers went 9-8 last year, and in the process, they found their quarterback who threw for better than 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. They got to the postseason. They won a playoff game. So that 9-8 looks different than somebody else's 9-8. So, I do have high expectations, but I'm also a realist that it's hard to win in this league consistently. But I would say 3 years down the road, you're talking about him as being a Pro Bowl quarterback, and you've been to the postseason 2 out of the last 3 years.
So, Tommy, looking at Caleb, and Hoodie and I and Jay Moore and Shay have been having this discussion for a while. When you look at him, the expectation level, for me, is different because he's not just a guy. He is being talked about. Stacey Dales on the NFL Network yesterday said, this guy's different. He's generational. He's going to hit the ground running. It's just different. He's at a different level. Do you look at him and think he's looked at by his teammate? You've been in that room. do his teammates look at him differently than just some rookie quarterback?
Well, I think it's there will be skepticism, there will be excitement, there will be skepticism, and there will be a period of time where it is up to him to earn everybody's respect and trust. And I think he's going to do that because I think the kid is talented. I think he's authentic. I think his personality is authentic. I don't think he's trying to portray somebody he's not. And I think he's really engaging. So I don't think the locker room's going to be an issue for him and his teammates. All of the guys that I'm sure Ryan Poles talked to from USC had glowing things to say about him. I don't use the word generational. It's just hard. Like, I mean, I have a lot of high hopes for him, but like that is the most difficult position in all sports to play. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think that's just a word we use to kind of, amplify how we feel about a guy. I'm not taking a shot at Stacy. Stacy's great. And I know that feeling is shared by a lot of people. I have a hard time going there just because I mean, how many guys are quote unquote generational? I think we just use those words too, or for my liking, I think we use those words too.
But I can't
but
think
I'm just
of the last
a radio
Chicago athlete, Hoodie, that we've talked about in these glowing terms. Who is it?
Well, the reason why is because when was the last time the Bears had a number 1 draft pick with this kind of a claim? And I've said many times that Caleb Williams has the opportunity to not just be the number 1 pick in the draft, but also to be the best prospect in the draft.
Yeah.
Just based on everything that we've seen. So I would say, Tommy, this is kind of like anything else, even away from sports. You go into a job and you're brand new and no one knows you, and you're not going to be a fit for everybody. But if you're productive, everyone will respect you.
Oh, there's no doubt. Like you guys know, the name I think I would say just to kind of reference Cap's question, the guy that brought I think it was Derek. I think you got to go back to Derek, don't you, to find how a city, and he was homegrown here too. Mm-hmm. So
Connor Bedard.
Yeah, that's true. But I think
Bedard.
I still think that Derek is the one that has generated the most excitement. And think about it, like Derek's personality was very calm and very quiet, but yet what was the one thing that won everybody else over? He was damn good.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about Caleb. Like, all of these pre-draft concerns about his personality, who gives a rat's ass? First of all, I thought it was all, pre-draft BS, because if you really did the homework or talked to the people around him, they told an entirely different story than somebody who was just helicoptering in and giving you thoughts. I mean, everyone said that he was a good teammate and he loved the sport, he loved the game and everything. So, I don't think it's going to take long for him. And by the way, like, go back to remember the cut that we had from DJ working out? Yeah, balls just comes out different. Ball's there on, you come out of your break, ball's there, and you're throwing against air in California. And DJ's giving you a little insight. When the ball comes out of your hand and the ball's placed right where it's supposed to be, and you don't throw medicine balls to your wide receivers, you're going to endear yourself to the receivers and everybody else. And when he takes a step right to evade a sack that's given up by poor technique from Braxton Jones, and they get back in the huddle, and Braxton Jones looks at Caleb Williams and goes, "Man, thanks for saving my ass on that." That's the kind of stuff that endears you to your teammates.
It's a Waddle Wednesday with Kap and J Hood on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000. Tommy will be with Sylvie today, 2:30 to 5:30 in the White Sox baseball as they take on the Blue Jays, 5:30 pregame, right here on the home of the White Sox, ESPN 1000, for a White Sox winner and a world championship. Tommy, if you had your druthers, man, some people just don't have these options in life. I wish, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I have a choice to go back to play football or be the vice president of the United States. That had to be a tough decision for Aaron.
You do both if you're Aaron, don't you?
You talking about with the Jets, or?
No, you do both. You're the vice president of the United States, and you play quarterback for the Jets, I think.
When you're a Jet, you're a Jet.
All the way, the Jets, okay. There it is. How about that, Cap? Yeah, but did you hear Cap, by the way, chiming in from his WLS studios? He wouldn't have won. And I asked, you mean as a Jet?
Right. Yeah.
What do you mean, Cap? What are you saying?
That third party is not going to win. We're not doing politics.
Oh.
Just stick to playing football, okay? I'm a fan of how you play football. Tommy,
We're
one
just
guy
radio idiots, Cap. Right? Isn't that what isn't what John said about us? Or did he call us radio idiots?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If the shoe fits, I got it on tight and tied up nicely.
No, not radio idiots. Radio losers.
Okay,
Radio
same
losers.
thing.
Radio losers.
Radio losers.
Okay, we're just a bunch of radio losers. That's fine, but I would like to have dinner with Aaron Rodgers. I've told Hoodie that for a long time. I don't subscribe, and I'm not in line with a lot of his thoughts, politics, or whatever. He's just so out there with the ayahuasca and the this and the acid trip down in Brazil with his friend. Okay, have at it. But I think he'd be an interesting dude to talk to.
I think actually you would imbibe. I think you would imbibe on the ayahuasca drink. I think you.
I would not. My wife was in Peru and got offered the ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And said absolutely not.
What if it was mandatory for the sit-down dinner with Aaron? You can have dinner with Aaron, but you have to consume ayahuasca with him.
6 hours of violently puking your guts out because you think it's going to change your life? No.
Sounds like my junior year after the spring game.
This portion of Kap and J Hood brought to you by Everclear.
Oh, Jonathan, that is a bad memory. Like that, or whoever thought shots of Goldschlager at 2 a.m. were the right idea.
I don't know what that is. What's Goldschlager?
Oh my God! Well, it's rubbing alcohol with flakes in it.
Yeah,
gold
like
flakes
gold
in it.
flakes. Yeah,
Because I've had the Everclear, and that did not end well for me.
Yeah, I mean, like to put your hand in the air as the lights go on in the bar, and like, okay, one more for the road. How about a shot for everyone? Let's go Goldschlager. Like one of the biggest mistakes a 21-year-old kid.
Okay,
can
have
ever
either of you ever had Malort?
Of course. You know why?
I know Hoodie has.
Yes, we had
but
it
the
together.
audience wasn't sure. So
Yeah. No,
did, upstairs.
We had it together. Yes, we had shots of Malort. Absolutely.
I tasted it. It's the most vile substance I've ever tasted. But now the big thing is, we'll get to it later, they're putting freaking bugs in it.
No.
Crazy.
No, not mine. You're not.
Have you had Malort, Tom?
You know what it does? It kills my nicotine buzz if I got a bug in my scotch. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put three of them together. You know.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
how
not
to
in
ruin
the
a
same
good.
league as you and Hoodie.
You
guys
know how to
can drink.
ruin a good Marlboro Ultralight? You put a cicada in my scotch. I'm joking.
Nothing like a good drag of a Marlboro.
I'm joking.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I know that you and Sylvia have talked about this, but we talked about it yesterday, and then we come to find out that Kyle Hendricks is going to the bullpen. And I Tommy, I think that's for everybody. You just know when the end's coming.
Yeah.
And I just think after 11 years, he's put in yeoman's work as a Chicago Cub. But you could just kind of see it's the beginning of the end. When they send you to the bullpen and not release you outright, that means you got to pull the nose up on this thing.
Fan in me says bravo because I like Kyle so much as a guy, and I appreciate his career. And I mean, look, he's a self-made dude. Like, nobody really, what was he, an 8th-round pick, and he traded for him. And he's been not only a great guy, but he's been a good pitcher. So that portion of me is like, I'm glad to see the Cubs doing him right, giving him one last try. Mm-hmm. The other part of me is like, isn't there a young guy in AA that you could give that ball to? And, even if it's in mop-up time, and let that young man get some experience. Like, I just don't know that. I guess it could work. I guess, but my expectation level is that this isn't going to go any better than the previous runs.
But Tommy, I said to Hoodie, I think you agree with this. When you were playing, if you knew I can't help my team, you don't want to be out there.
No. But the competitor in you is as long as you're physically okay, the competitor in you is never going to quit. You're never going to tap out. You almost have to be pushed out because you've spent your whole life trying to overcome expectations that people have placed on you. When I retired in Cincinnati back in '95,
you couldn't physically do it.
Couldn't physically do anything. Like, my knee was swollen, my hip was bad. I couldn't do it anymore. So, but if Kyle's healthy, I can understand why he wants to keep trying it. But like, this doesn't look good, and it doesn't feel like it's going to go well. You wish him well because he was such an integral part of what they did and the success they had, and he is a wonderful guy. But you can't just keep running out there giving up 7.
You can't.
No.
And again, I believe that He'll do whatever they ask him. They will
Yeah.
treat him the right way. I heard you and Sylvie talking yesterday. You have to handle him the right way.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But at the same time, you owe it to the other 24 guys on your roster, however many guys are in a baseball dugout these days. You owe it to them to make sure that you're giving them a chance by putting a guy out there that can actually accomplish something. So, tough spot. And the good thing is, fellas, that this is happening earlier in the season, So, I mean, you can make this decision at some point if you have to move on from him and try to find someone that can fill his role. But look, you need 6 starters, sometimes 7 over the course of 162 games these days in Major League Baseball. This new whatever iteration of Major League Baseball. But I wish him well because he's a great dude.
Tommy, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for
All right,
coming
fellas,
on.
have a great day.
Have a great day.